Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, December 16th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the price you see over here will be changing and moving around, and then candlestick you see right there will also be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ICVX, very, very explosive movement today. And you got to think a lot of people will be watching this one headed into Friday. So let's map out some key levels here. First key point from a resistance standpoint, going to be right up here at $15, and we'll call it 10 cents, give or take a little bit. Let me change that to red to represent more so the resistance area. So that would definitely be a breakout area that you got to think a lot of people are watching. And when lots of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, while there is no such thing as a guarantee, it's valid to, it's a rational thought that if the price can work its way back up here and then get a break up through that level, that break right there in and of itself could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. So definitely keep a close eye on that. And then as far as areas of support are concerned, key level to watch right now is this breakout point down here at right around the $9 mark, give or take. And again, let me actually change that to green to represent more so a bullish area. But definitely, kind of a sideways range right now. And in fact, you could probably get a little bit more aggressive with that level if you wanted to move it up here. But like I said, I'm just trying to play it a little bit more conservative and keep it down around that $9 mark. But the moral of the story here is this one is a very volatile stock, had a ton of volume today, showed the ability to move and move very quickly. So if you like to play these highly volatile stocks and relatively cheap price range, then I definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, MULN. I think this is my third day in a row now doing this one, and what a monster movement this one went on today. But it also presents a little bit of a challenge from a presentation standpoint because this is a good or bad looking chart. Well, I don't know. What was your perspective going in? Meaning, if you're some sort of day trader and you bought right there, or you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 12 minutes, well then from that perspective, yeah, the chart's looking really bad because there's no doubt about it, there was a very big pullback that occurred today. However, if you were sitting here saying, well, no, Clay, I'm not some sort of day trader like that, I care about more so the bigger picture point of view, well, then when you consider where the lows were today, then you look at the lows were yesterday and the previous day and the previous day, then if you envision each one of those as stair-steps, now again, emphasis on big picture, but from the big picture point of view, you can very clearly see that there are still stair-steps progressing in the upwards direction. So yes, big picture, everything is perfectly fine, but if you are some sort of day trader, depending on where you bought, then yeah, the chart could look very, very ugly for you. So a matter of perspective, but again, assuming you are a big picture person, then the chart looks absolutely fine, and the uptrend continues with these higher highs and higher lows. Next one, AAPL, Apple, very popular stock. Clearly, that's gotten beat down. To be fair, the entire market's got beat down today, but broke down through some very, very significant levels. And the big level that it broke down through was this former area of support that it held for several times. The price has been down around that area, and it had held strong. Let's try that again. There we go. Had held strong right down here at right around the 140.50 mark. So going through the history of things, you can see 140.50 held nicely there. Held nicely there, but then this morning during that opening 30 minutes when the price did break through it, you can see just that opened up the floodgates and down it went from there, which brings about the first key update, and this is just based on a foundation rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if there is any sort of bigger bounce in the upwards direction, then right around that 140.50-ish mark is going to be that main area of resistance to keep an eye on. As far as levels of support are concerned, as you're seeing here, having to squeeze down the chart here quite a bit, but that just goes to show that it's been quite a while since the price has been down around this area of the chart, with the next key area of support potentially, coming into play here right down there around 134.50, which again, going back through the history of things, you can see several times the price has been down around that area, and to give full credit where credit's due, it has held very nicely. Doesn't mean that it will hold again and will bounce again, but it's certainly a valid thought process if you're thinking, well, I think the price could come down there and bounce off that level. Completely see where you're coming from. Next one, CORZ, very, very nice move here. And overall, everything is looking just fine. Again, a little bit of perspective. If you're a day trader and you bought right there late day, looking for a late day scalp of 5 minutes, well then yes, from that angle, you're not very happy. But for everybody else, everything is perfectly fine. And the key level to watch, at least in my opinion, and what catches my eye, is that trend line right there that seemed to form throughout the entire day. Not seemed to form, it did form by these data points up here. So keep an eye on that. And as I said with the previous one, there are no guarantees, but is it valid to think that the price comes down there, it could find support and then get a nice bounce? Well, of course it is, because I mean, it's happened before. Does not mean it's guaranteed to happen again, but nobody could accuse you of being some sort of irrational thinker. You'd have good reasoning to think that way. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, if there are any sort of bounces back upwards, then there definitely does seem to be quite a bit of resistance up around here, give or take around this 47-cent mark. So keep an eye on that. There we go, red for resistance. But overall, very nice move, very nice volume. It'll be interesting to see if this momentum carries into Friday. Next one, AMC. Going to sound a little bit repetitive if you did watch yesterday's video, but I say it as a compliment. All things considered, very, very impressive day. Again, all things considered, meaning when you factor in the overall context of the market and how things got absolutely beat down. And all AMC did was, now, of course, it didn't have a fantastic day, right, by any stretch, but I mean, it held strong. It didn't even put in new lows compared to what it did a couple of days ago. So that may not seem like a lot. Well, geez, Clay, that's setting the bar kind of low. You're saying a stock had a good day because it didn't put in a new low? Yes, I am saying that because, again, let's factor in the overall market context of how bad it was for the general market. So overall, this level down here, which I've talked about in past videos at 550, continues to hold strong. Then the other level that you're going to want to continue to watch from resistance side of things is going to be that purple line right there, the 50-period moving average. You can see he has presented problems in several occasions, but if the price can't push up through there, then yeah, there'd still be more work to do, but that would certainly be a step in the right direction. But, at the core, my argument would be very, very impressive day considering how bad the market's been the past couple of days, and here AMC is just kind of going sideways. Real quickly, I wanted to pause and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online event that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool of charts and how they can be used, how they should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen, then certainly get signed up for the free live training. Next one here, AMZN, Amazon, very popular stock, and wanted to get it mapped out just because it's now sitting at a very interesting level, and one where, as I've said and will probably say a couple more times more throughout the course of the video, there are no guarantees, but it's valid to think that this thing could very well bounce. Why do you say that? Well, you look back here. Oops, try that again. There we go. Look back here, and you can see price did a good job of coming down, going sideways, getting a nice bounce. Right there, didn't hit exactly, so I could understand, okay, I don't really agree with that point. Fair enough. But once again, you have the price doing almost a mirror image of what it did back here. Again, does that mean that for sure guaranteed the price is moving upwards? No, but our job as traders is not to do random things. Our job is to put some logic, to put some rationale behind our choices, and I can completely see the rationale when you look back and say, well, I mean, it's gone sideways at this level before. It's going sideways level, at this area before. Last time it bounced. Will it bounce this time? Very, very valid question. So if you're someone that likes to try to catch bounces, then Amazon's sitting at a very interesting location. Next one, UVXY, and this is one for you breakout players if you do like to play breakouts, and this one's getting up next to some very, very interesting levels. As I draw this trend line across here, you can see, whoops, there we go. You can see that the price has been up in this area several times before, going back a couple of times here, there, and then once again right there. So no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that a lot of people are watching this level, and therefore there could be a self-fulfilling prophecy where if the price does recover back up here and then breaks up through it, that break could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a valid outcome that could very well play out. So if you like to play these lower priced stocks here, actually this one's an ETF to be exact, but point being, if you like to play these lower prices, and you like to play breakouts, and this is one that can move very quickly, so worth keeping an eye on. Next, TSLA Tesla, and a couple of well-defined levels here that I think, again, a lot of people will be watching, myself included. And the big level that, in my mind, a lot of people have drawn is this trend line right here, because it's done a very good job of forecasting where these selling points have been. And that presents a very interesting situation headed into Friday, because as you can see right now, the price isn't that far off from potentially doing battle again, which brings up, a very logical question, a very exciting question of, okay, if the price does test this, can it get the breakout? And if it does, how much momentum is it going to gain? Now, maybe it doesn't gain any momentum at all. That's a very real possibility, but that is a two-sided coin, because, well, maybe it does, and that's the start of a much bigger breakout. So definitely keep an eye on that trend line right there. Again, a level that I don't proclaim that is some sort of great discovery. You got to think a lot of other people are watching that, so there could be some of that self-fulfilling prophecy angle that goes with it. And then as far as supports are concerned, definitely keep a close eye on that level down there at the 155.25-ish area. Definitely seems like a level, if it comes down there and breaks down through it, that could just be the leading indicator that this thing is ready to make a new leg to the downside. But some very well-defined levels here on Tesla, so I know I'll be watching it on Friday. Next one, SNAP, Snapchat, very popular stock, got absolutely beat down today. And when popular stocks get beat down, they're nothing's guaranteed to happen, but they're worth at least keeping an eye on. And the level here that stands out to me here on Snap is this little miniature resistance right here at the $8.93 mark. So keep an eye on that. Now, even if the price does break above it, still a lot of work that needs to be done, with the next level of resistance being here right up around the 925 mark. But point being is there does seem to be some late day strength that showed up. Not seems to be, I mean, there was very clearly. When you look down here, you can see a nice solid, couple green candles. The volume came back in. Granted, the last 30 minutes was a red candle, but it's still up higher than where it was at these lower parts. So potentially some sort of turnaround, maybe trying to get underway here in terms of levels of support. The level that I would definitely call a must-hold level is down here at the 865 mark. Nothing fancy there other than the fact that that's just simply where it went sideways today. So if the price were to go down there and break below at that point, now all of a sudden the price is at lower lows, which, clearly not a good sign from the bullish side of things. Next one, TQQQ, which is the most popular ETF out there, allows you to play the NASDAQ market. So if you think that the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, then you could buy this one at a much lower price point. And, needless to say, it got absolutely destroyed, but I've been tracking this one quite a bit. And for those of you that have watched those past videos, you hopefully remember me talking about that trend line right there and how it, up until this point, it had been doing a good job of holding strong. But with the price gapping down below there, the market did not like that at all, and down it went from that point forward. So overall, this trend line has been completely destroyed, so we'll just get that out of the way now and try to figure out where some next potential supports are going to be, which you can see here the price has come down a whole long ways than where it was, broke down below that range, and is now sitting right here at, give or take, 1925, which is essentially that little miniature gap close location back around this area of the chart, right around there. So keep an eye on that area, which is essentially where the price is sitting right now. So that makes it an interesting level from a support side of things. In the event the price just crashes down through there, the next level of support to keep an eye on would then be down there right around the 1875 mark. In the event the price bounces back upwards, key level of resistance to watch is going to be that former breakdown point right there. Let me change that to red, and that would put that resistance area right there, give or take, around the $20.20 mark. But yeah, no doubt about it, a lot of downwards pressure today. Does this carry into Friday? We'll have to see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the class next week. It'll be Thursday, December 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, so I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. Everybody, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.